Mike and John and Mike, the Mikey Johnny show, continuing without Peter. I think we'll be without him for this entire week. So settle in. John's going to tell us about a big fat Morgan Stanley problem. Today's Not So Critical update.
Oh, Morgan Stanley, what have you done? $35 million fine from the SEC, I think, because Morgan Stanley it was discovered that they somehow their drives from their servers were auctioned off, unencrypted, unwiped,
somehow, data
still on the drive.
Who knows? Somehow.
What an abysmal whiff from Morgan Stanley.
I'll just read a paragraph from the story. The SEC action said that the improper disposal of thousands of hard drives starting in 2016 was part of an extensive failure over a 5-year period to safeguard customers' data as required by federal regulations. The agency said that the failures also included the improper disposal of hard drives and backup tapes when decommissioning servers in local branches. In all, the SEC said that data for 15 million customers was exposed.
At this point, all I can think of, only 35 million. Like, these guys are getting away with whatever they want. It's like, yeah, here's your government fee for the year.
Yeah, for 15 million records, that's what, $3 a record.
How much does Morgan Stanley make in a year?
Less than that. Two something per record. Oh, I don't even know. Did they? Let's see. We'll just do live research.
Yeah.
Morgan Stanley annual revenue.
I see in 2019
$57
they made 41
billion.
Oh, okay, there you go. You found a more up-to-date one. So, okay, 57 billion. So let's see. 3.5 billion would be 1%. 35 billion would be 0.1%. So this is 0.05-ish, more or less.
Yeah,
percent
0.06
of their yearly revenue.
Yep. Awesome.
Because
that's going to hit hard. That's going to sting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right into the profits. Yeah. Those bonuses are going to be a little bit slimmer.
No. It's the contortions they'll have to make not to touch the bonuses or salaries and figure out how to pass it on to the customers whose information they sold.
Oh yeah, right. Your interest has gone up by 1%. So the really funny, I guess, the really funny thing here is that Morgan Stanley, the way it went down is that they needed data destruction because they were like, I guess, taking down a bunch of server farms or server rooms. And in those server rooms, there were thousands of drives. And the company that they hired to basically bring it all down had no formal experience with data destruction. So what that company did was that they contracted out a data destruction company, which in the beginning all went well. Data started getting destroyed. And then for XYZ reason, they ended the contract and brought in someone totally unrelated who had never done something like this before, who was unsanctioned. They were not approved by Morgan Stanley to do this work as a subcontractor, and ended up just auctioning the drives and probably made a good amount of money.
Free money.
So. It's like money on money because they were paid to take the drives and they were paid to then sell the drives, which is so funny.
Now, given that scenario,
absurd.
It is unlikely that anybody actually purchased all or enough of those drives to actually reconstruct 15 million Morgan Stanley records. But because a lot of these were in RAID arrays, a lot of them were backup tapes. So somebody theoretically could have had access to all these records, but that means they would have, restore the arrays, restore servers from backups,
Not
seems
entirely
unlikely.
true. Oh, well, for the 15 million records to have a complete collection of it all, correct. However,
but even to get some parts of it, you'd have to be very intentional about doing that.
Wait, because it gets funny. The way this was discovered was some random IT guy out of somewhere in America
just checked a drive,
bought a drive or whatever, I don't know how many, bought a drive, plugged it in, and is like, whoa, this is Morgan Stanley's internal customer data. Emailed Morgan Stanley and was like, hey, so you guys are selling your drives on eBay for like nothing, and it has customer data on it. This is how it was discovered. I'm not sure how the SEC caught wind of this. Maybe this person reached out to them separately. Maybe Morgan Stanley simply had to report themselves in trying to like mitigate the damage, basically saying we're open with you about this. So funny. What a mistake. What a fuck up. Just and then
not even deleted, much less like secure deletion, just like left right on there.
Right on there, clear text, plug it in, boom, data.
But again, you don't know. It's likely not customer data.
I think
because most likely customer data would live in a database of some sort, not just be plain text on a drive.
Yeah, but
so
if
even
this drive was mounted, right, and then they were like, wait, this is some weird stuff on here. What is this dot, whatever DB file?
It's possible. I
mean, this person figured it out. So
yeah.
But I really don't think, if anything, probably a very small percentage of people were directly affected by this. Like, if any.
But no encryption on the drives. Complete failure to delete the data, failure to destroy the data, failure to destroy the hardware, the drives. Just they described this as a series of astonishing failures.
The good thing here is that Morgan Stanley is not part of the tech industry. So
why is that a good thing?
Oh, well, it's sarcasm because they definitely are. It's just so funny. Oops. Yeah, it's comedy.
There was a story that we did about the Senate or Congress investigating 3 companies. One was about the Horizon pipelines. Who was the other company? But in the report, what they wrote was that it was just a series of small mistakes, like not changing admin passwords or having simple passwords or things like that in some of these cases. So what do you think is worse? I don't think this was exactly the case with Horizon, but let's just say, Horizon getting hacked. Is it Horizon? The pipeline? It's not. What was the name of the pipeline?
Oh, God. It's on the tip of my tongue. Colonial.
We're good at this. Colonial Pipeline. Yeah. I know where I got Horizon from. So what's worse? Horizon, Colonial Pipeline getting hacked for not changing a password. I don't think that's actually what happened. But just for the sake of the example, I guess we'll just say that, or failing to wipe your hard drives when you sell them on eBay.
So I think Colonial, I think that was we avoided catastrophe with a Colonial Pipeline hack.
Yeah, that's probably a bad example.
No, I feel like that's a pretty good example, actually, because
I don't think that was how they got
the
breached,
the financial security of people is also very critical. Like 15 million people just losing all their money. Terrifying. And then this doesn't exactly inspire confidence in Morgan Stanley's cybersecurity capabilities if they can't even do like one-on-one stuff in terms of data destruction. Like, this is kindergarten level IT operations. Like, we're not talking about something extreme. And it gets worse and worse as you think about it. The drives weren't destroyed. The drives weren't wiped. and the drives weren't encrypted. So there's just like a multitude of levels of failures across the board.
Yeah, here was the other story that I was thinking of. JBS was the company I was trying to think of, and I think they're primarily food services, if I remember correctly. I don't think you were actually here for this story, but the Senate or Congress, there was an investigation, and they described it as just a series of small lapses. So that's like in parallel. Could you describe this as a series of small lapses? So it's just like, hey, we forgot to delete some data before we sold these drives. What's the big deal?
Oops.
I'll put a link to this video that I'm showing now in the video for today's video. I'll link the old video. You should definitely go watch it and let me know which you think is worse. And leave a comment with your findings on either video.
Come on over to our Discord server. We can talk about it.
Discord server. That's right. All right. See ya.